again, for today's cryptocurrency segment, we are going to be covering the Upbit Ethereum being on the move today. So obviously we talked about this the other day. There we go. All right, so here's the Upbit hack, and let's go see the latest transactions. Yeah, okay. So he is kind of splitting his funds around quite a bit. Yeah, 10 Ether, 100, 1,000 Ether, 10,000, 100,000, being pretty bold with it. So in the story, the 51.7 actually $1 million haul from this week's Upbit heist clearly seems to be on the move. According to data from the Chainalysis website etherscan.io, which you guys just showed you, the stolen Ethereum is now being split up and being moved to various addresses. Now, the transactions seem to have been generally divided into lots ranging from about 10 Ethereum to 100,000 Ethereum. Now, at this time, as we speak right now, the hacker's original Ethereum wallet has been nearly completely emptied, and the 342,000 Ethereum is now being split up across multiple addresses. Now, according to one analyst who is following the funds, he believes the hacker is now looking for a platform on which to now launder the funds, including testing the waters by sending small amounts to the ByBit Exchange. Now, with the hacker aware that all eyes are on the stolen funds due to the blockchain, and many exchanges likely to freeze assets related to the theft, the challenge for him becomes finding an exchange, OTC desk, or other friendly third party to help sell or launder all of this Ethereum. Now, the thief also appears to be mocking any observers closely monitoring his activity with a series of unconfirmed transactions, leaving a subtle message behind. And each one is for a very small amount of Ethereum, 0.0001337, 1337 obviously being leet speak for elite, which is often used in reference to being a elite hacksaw or elite hacker. Now, it's likely that these transactions will go on unconfirmed, as it seems that the hacker is intentionally setting their Ethereum transaction fees too low to be accepted by the network. So they will remain unconfirmed merely to mock those who are hot on his trail. Now, yesterday, Upbit confirmed that the 342 Ethereum had been stolen from its hot wallets, but that users should not worry because the exchange would replace the funds in their entirety from their insurance fund. Take that as you will. At the time, the hacker's stash was worth just under 49 million. Thanks to recent price movements, that amount of Ethereum is now worth almost $52 million. Now, of course, deposits and withdrawals are still suspended on Upbit and will remain so that way for approximately 2 weeks, according to the statement directly from the exchange. So, obviously, here's the thing, man. What's kind of funny about a lot of people are going to have a different take on this. A lot of people approaching the space are kind of like very how do I put this? I would say that the overall mentality of individuals involved in cryptocurrency, and of course this kind of ranges, a lot of people don't look at this as like, oh, this is absolutely terrible. Like, that is theft. Screw that guy. A lot of people in this community, especially individuals involved in computer science or involved in, black hat, white hat type activity, which, obviously two different things, but you guys know what red team, blue team. There's this kind of concept, among individuals who hack or freak or break or crack that, if you can penetrate a system, like that's a good win. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's how I feel about this. I think that a lot of people are watching this as kind of an interesting or exciting story. Obviously, it's spiced up a little bit because the dude's dropping leets all over the place, which would so now we have to ask, like, because the kind of narrative was this was an inside job, but it seems like if this was an inside job, sponsored by North Korea particularly, it doesn't really seem like they'd be leet speaking their way all over the internet, unless, again, we want to take another step into the inception matrix here and say that that is a clever ruse by a potential nation state attack from North Korea to make it seem like it's just your average everyday hacker, or not your average everyday hacker, obviously somebody who can penetrate Upbit security, which, exchanges have been hacked, all over the place lately. So especially Asian exchanges. And again, I think that the common narrative is pointing to state-sponsored hacking / terrorism nearly from the North Korean nation state, or from associated terrorist organizations. So all I can say is that, it seems that Upbit is going to be covering the funds. It remains to be seen here who has actually been hurt or not made whole. Obviously, I think it sucks that withdrawals are going to be suspended. So somebody's activities are actively hurting individuals who can't deposit or withdraw cryptocurrency if they need to access their funds or pay bills. Obviously, that's a tragedy. Upbit should make that better. But that's just where we are with the current state of technology, where to keep, to fix things or make things whole. Binance has done this before, obviously, when Binance was hacked. Of course, the argument's going to be like, well, to make the most amount of people whole, we have to inconvenience a small amount of individuals or a large amount of individuals. So, but all I can say is that, the hunt for the elite hacker remains fairly exciting and interesting right now. And I'm just interested to see how this plays out. Of course, we may never know. As we don't know the true identities behind most of the infamous hacks and heists from the exchanges that have happened over the last 18 months. But heck, maybe we just talked about Anonymous launching that mystery fund, right, to fund Bitcoin development. Maybe it's them. Maybe maybe it's Anonymous who has been doing this overall hacking and has accumulated all these funds into one area, and they're going to use that fund to fund Bitcoin development. Because if you look, you'll actually see most of the hacks are not Bitcoin. It's been Ethereum and Ripple and Nano and all these other things, millions and millions of dollars worth of these coins. Not a whole lot of Bitcoin itself has been hacked, right? So maybe is that a sign? Is that a sign? Is there a coordinated hacking attempt on centralized exchanges to fund decentralized Bitcoin development? That's what I like.